Hey, what's up? I'm Gary from Raz Rentals, and today I'm going to talk about the awesome, gooey, and gross ectoplasm from the Real Ghostbusters toy line. In the 80s, slime was everywhere, and the slimiest of all was the Real Ghostbusters. In Ghostbusters 1, the slime in the library was legendary, and every kid wanted to have some slime for himself. If I had anything sticky on my hands, I'd walk around the house, wiping my hands on the walls and the couch, going like, duh, emulating that famous scene. Ectoplasm came in 4 different colors. It came in purple, reddish pink, blue, and yellow. The only one that I ever remember having as a kid was the reddish pink one, because I only remember getting the Come to Your Senses ghosts. I think maybe the purple came with the firehouse, but I'm not 100% on that one. If it did, then I would have had purple too. But I would have definitely loved to get blue. I never had that, but now I do. And this can's pretty cool because it has the pictures of the skullful manifestation ghosts on the side. I'm cheating a little bit with these other cans because these weren't the ones you bought by themselves in the store. These ones came with my Gooper ghosts. I have one here that's unopened, and this one's in pretty bad shape because it was open and it looks like it has slime residue all over it still. Now, if you do live dangerously, you can pop these open and take a look and see what they look like. That looks disgusting. This blue one's pretty hard, but if I open up this purple one, this one's still liquidy. If I have it laying down on its side, it actually will form on the bottom and move around. It still smells like you remember it too. A little disgusting and a little bit curious. So, these were really cool. It was a really fun thing to play with. Everything was getting into slime back then. But one of the best things about these cans was each one of them came with their own special ectoplasm ghost. So let's go over all the ghosts that came with this cool ectoplasm. Finding all these guys was no easy feat, and it took me about 10 years altogether to find every single one of them. So, to begin with, we'll start with the MultiColor Ecto Ghosts. That's all they're referred to on the package. These only came in the purple cans. First, out of the multicolored ectoplasm ghosts, I'd like to take a look at the Bird Fish Ghost. None of these guys have specific names, so this guy looks like a bird and he looks like a fish, so for me, he is the Bird Fish Ghost. I think the plastic they used for these Bird Fish Ghosts is different than the plastic that they used for the other ectoplasm ghosts, because unlike all of them, none of these have discolored or faded. Let's see in his mouth. Unlike all the other multicolored ghosts, this yellow ghost has not turned red. So, and he just feels a little different. The other guys feel a little bit more gummy or something. I call this guy the Birdfish Ghost because, in my opinion, his head looks... There we go. His head kind of looks like a bird head. It kind of looks like he has a beak. These fins could either be wings or fins. And the feet look like, bird claws. It's just the general shape of them looks more like a fish. So, that's how I break down my naming for him. If you have a name, let me know what it is. I'm curious to hear it. And here is the red one. Next up are the Big Mouth Ghosts. Now this guy's a little cool because they later on released a ghost that was very similar to him in the Power Pack line. Just a bright green. He's more simplified, but very similar idea. My blue ghost is discolored a little bit. He's turning more of a purple. To me, this guy looks like he's like bending back or, you know, doing something. If you have a different name for him other than the Big Mouth Ghost, please let me know what it is. I'm curious to hear it. My yellow one has turned very orange. I've seen some that still have remained yellow, but this guy has turned a lot. Here he is in purple, and he's held up pretty well. And finally in red. And the red has held up pretty well too. Next up is the Big Tongue Ghost. Out of all the Ectoplasm Ghosts, this guy is probably my least favorite. His design just does not like do much for me, I guess. My blue one here is turning purple. All these have a hole in the bottom of them. My yellow one is discolored a little bit. He's turning red or orange. Again, like the Big Mouth Ghosts, the purple and red of this guy have held up the best. Here he is in red. The final ghosts of the standard ectoplasm ghosts are the either, I call them the big hand ghosts or the hanger ghosts, because I usually use these big hands to hang them from stuff, like the Ecto or the Ecto 2. My blue figure has discolored a little bit. He's getting a little darker than he should be. Out of all of them, I think he has the creepiest looking face. And like I said, his hands cuff a little bit so you can hang him. My yellow one has turned red or orange, and he has like little stains. It's because the plastic's going bad. If you have old Ghostbusters toys, a lot of them get little spots. And you can find them without it, but, you know, I don't know if that's going to continue to get worse and worse, or if it just got like that because of how it was stored for a while. Again, the purple figure of this guy looks great, and so does the red one. First up in the special line of Ectoplasm Ghosts, we have the Come to Your Senses Ghosts. These guys came in red or pink, you know, whichever you prefer to call it, cans of ectoplasm. These were pretty much the only ones I had when I was a kid. I don't really have good names for these guys. I just refer to this guy as the Mouth. You know, these guys are a little flatter. Then the multicolored ectoplasm ghosts. There's not much to him. This guy has the eyes of the group. I really like his spiky mouth. And again, like the mouth, if you turn him around, there's not really much going on behind him. The final come to your senses ghost is the nose. Now, when I was a kid, I used to stick this thing on my nose and pretend, you know, it was a part of me. And like the other guys, there's nothing really going on behind him. Up next are the skullful manifestation ghosts. Now, I really like these guys because they look very scary and demonic. I never had any of these, but I would have liked to have them. These guys came in the blue cans of ectoplasm. Again, these guys don't have any names, so I just refer to this one as the Splatterhouse skull. I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like Rick. And you can put these on like your toys' faces, pretend they're masks, because there's nothing going on in the back here. I refer to this one as the vampire skull, because if you look, it looks like he has these huge fangs. And in general, he's a lot more smoother and bulbous looking than the other two skulls. This was the last of these guys that I found, and I like him. I think he's pretty cool looking. He's like a demon skull, or he kind of reminds me of maybe one of the characters from Judge Dredd, one of the dark judges. He's got horns and a scarier looking face. And finally, we have my favorite of the bunch. We have the full floating torso ghosts. These guys came in yellow cans, and I never had any of these as a kid, but I always wanted them. I always thought they looked really cool in the pictures you would see on the back of the Real Ghostbuster cards. Out of all the ectoplasm ghosts, these guys are my favorite. I remember looking at the pictures on the back of the cards, and you'd be able to see them, and they looked really cool. Although I couldn't really make out the full designs. You could just get little kind of bits and pieces because they were so tiny. But I really liked them. This guy to me kind of looks like a gremlin, so I just refer to him as the gremlin ghost. These guys are also rubbery. All the other guys in this ectoplasm line, they're very stiff and hard plastic, but these three guys are all real soft. Rah. I refer to this guy as like the Cyclops, because he's got one eye. These ghosts are very hard to find. It wasn't easy tracking them down. Next to all the multicolors of the regular ectoplasm line, these were the hardest to come across. I refer to this guy as the snail ghost because he looks like a snail. It looks like he's got a giant shell behind him. But if you look at him, pick him up and turn him over, you'll see that he just has one big open mouth. And I'm sure you could probably try to close it even more, but I don't want to accidentally snap him or rip this. So that's as far as I'm going. But all these guys, they just look great. I think for the longest time, and I think even still, the yellow cans of ectoplasm are the rarest and hardest to find. So it's no wonder that I never had any of these guys as a kid. Do you remember in Gremlins when the gremlin bit that teacher's hand? Now that was some scary crap as a kid. So let me know what you think. If you have different names for these guys, please let me know. If you have any official names, please let me know. I'd love to hear it. So I hope you found this video, a little interesting and a little helpful if you're trying to hunt all these guys down. So have a good one. Talk to you later.